As we barrel down the path of technological advancement at ludicrous speed, it's always funny to me to think of how numb we become to certain technologies, even though as a kid, we wouldn't even dare to imagine that those things would be part of the near future. When we think about it, VR headsets are a real thing, and we wouldn't even imagine that it would be the way it is, because we probably thought, oh, I would just be holding a controller and I would be just looking around in 3D space, right? But we can move in 3D space, and we have two controllers and they represent our hands, and we have haptic feedback, we have haptic vests, we have simulation rigs, self-driving cars. It's a real thing. Anyways, I felt like this was a good intro to basically kind of slightly describe or give you a little hint of how I felt when I received all of those things by Rokid. So over there, no, it's not over. And over there, I have a bunch of products from Rokid. It is mostly one product, but it comes with 3 other accessories, and that's not even all that they offer. This is the Rokid Max. Those are advertised or described as AR or XR glasses. I wouldn't call them AR glasses, but the thing is, there's no names, there's no official names for what they really are. I can describe them by telling you that it is basically a projector, a personal projector in glasses, but also supports head tracking in 3D space. But that's not a good name. So let's go over it. Let's start with the glasses, and then I'll go over all the little things that go with it. Okay, so those are the Rokid Max, and first thing you need to know is that there are dials right there on top so that you can adjust for each eye. So if you have a condition that affects your vision, you can manually set them. There are built-in speakers, that's what you're seeing here, and I'll talk about the experience a little bit more later if I remember. But basically it sounds pretty good, and it sounds kind of weird because you can feel a little bit of bass, and it might feel like the sound is very, very high for you, but that's just because it's very close to your ears, and it's also basically touching your cranium. I wouldn't call them tactile inducers, but I know that just with the glasses, it is possible to have a pretty good audio experience for what it is, of course, for glasses. You also have some buttons at the bottom here to adjust the volume and also the brightness. And then at the back of the handle here, you'll find the USB-C port. They also come with a cover case that you can just put on the glasses like so. Oh, and just snap on like that. And there we go. And in my opinion, this is the best look. I can't see anything. So this is supposed to black out the screen completely if you want to be completely immersed in whatever you're watching. Let's talk about the initial setup. You can download the Rokid AR app onto your phone. And then with the provided USB to USB cable, you can plug the glasses to your phone. My phone is a Samsung Galaxy S20 FE and running Android. So on the app, there's 5 tabs. You're gonna find profile, which includes help and support, plus video tutorials if you're wondering what to do with all this. There's a tab called Mall where you can order more Rokid products. There's community, but it doesn't seem to be very, very active. It seems to be mostly people from Rokid telling us about like updates and things like that, which is cool. There's also event where it's just a tab saying Netflix is better with Max. So when you first plug it in, it's just going to mirror your phone. So right now I'm just seeing my phone in horizontal mode as it is, and then I can tap on AR mode right there, and then it will bring me into the interface from the app. Your phone will say connected to external display because that's pretty much what this is. This is an external display. And then you'll see a couple of icons at the bottom, which is basically the apps and the file explorers, the media players and all that stuff that comes with this specific app. And then you'll see a cursor, which is a blue dot, and your phone will be a touchpad. You have 3 main icons, but this is acting as a remote. And when I scroll, now I can see the cursor basically go around. And I'll have Cinema, which is kind of like a TV app, AR Store, where you can download games and apps, browser, we can just navigate the web, phone app, which is gonna mirror your phone and you can open up whatever app you already have installed on your phone. Then there's video player and then gallery. When I click on the menu up top, the options that we get are to lock the phone. I believe this is trim video. I'm not completely sure. There's record, which is cool. And then we have that 3D looking thing. And that 3D thing is basically right now, the screen is stuck to my face. So technically it's a huge 1080p screen that I'm seeing that is supposed to be about 6 meters away from me. And everywhere I move my head, it is like stuck to the glasses. But if I press the 3D button, what it does is that it locks it in place. And then my phone is no longer a touchpad, but it is kind of like a Wiimote cursor. Now this is a cool feature, but in my opinion, this is not something that I'm going to use because it's pretty shaky. You can tell that it's definitely tracking the movement, the rotation and things like that, but it is not in 3D space. So you're not gonna have like the 3D fidelity that you would have with a VR headset. So this is basically like a complete no-no feature for me. It's just a cool thing to know that, oh, there's an IMU in those glasses that can kind of tell where you're orientated. The AR store is pretty cool. It shows you a bunch of games that are, I guess, meant to be played in AR. I haven't tried any of them yet, but I probably will by the time this video comes out, so you'll probably see footage of that. The browser comes preloaded with like Google, Facebook, Amazon, CNN for some reason, Reddit, and things like that, but those are just URLs that you can just click on. Or one thing I forgot to mention is the user guide. Basically, there's an in-app tutorial that you can go through, and it teaches you everything you need to know about how to use the glasses, which is nice. Then gallery and video player, I think it's self-explanatory. All right, let me put this down. So concretely, this is basically an external monitor that you can plug into your phone. It runs with an app. It has the capability of doing 3D to be fixed in space, but that part is a little too janky and it's definitely not something that I'm gonna use. The rest though definitely makes it so that the viewing experience is better than on your phone for sure, better than certain screens that I own for sure. And the reason why, it's because yes, it's a giant screen. It's super bright. It's 600 nits. I don't speak in nits, so I don't know what that is. All I know is that even when there's lights around, even outside, because I've tried it outside, I can still see the screen clearly. It's very, very bright and you can adjust the brightness. The audio experience is particular, it's great, but I would still go with earbuds, of course, if I'm gonna watch anything in public. People can hear it if it's like max volume and they're close enough, but they really can't hear it as loud as you are hearing it. Even if it sounds super loud for you, most people around you won't be able to hear it at all. So you can turn your phone into this great private entertainment system. If you're traveling and you're going to hotels and places like that that don't necessarily have the best screens or the best speakers or whatever, now you have something that fits in your pocket that you can bring along and have a giant home cinema, a private home cinema, if you put the cover on. At first, I viewed those as something that I would probably only use at home, but then I took them outside in public transportation. And I gotta say that I enjoyed the experience I had. Watching Netflix while I'm sitting in a subway, honestly, was pretty pleasant. I even took the risk, and you shouldn't do that, I even took the risk of still having my Netflix show while I'm walking around with those glasses. Of course, that's very dangerous, but I wanted to see my ability of being able to focus on the outside world, because those are called AR glasses, and since they don't really move in 3D space, they don't have any cameras to track anything. I don't want to call them AR glasses, but here I was operating in the real world with glasses on that project a giant bright screen in front of me. So I don't recommend you doing this, but I tested it and it worked. Oh, another thing to note about the 3D version of it is that you can actually set up multiple screens, multiple apps open at the same time, or multiple browsers. I've seen some YouTubers do it, but it is a little too shaky for me, so I wouldn't really use it. If they come up with a new version or maybe an update that really stabilizes the image to make me really feel like those screens are really stuck in space, this would immediately become a productivity tool. I would have multiple tabs and I would be working on my tablet and doing multiple things at once using those glasses. But for now, I can still use it as a productivity tool, but I'm somewhat limited to one flat screen. Talking about productivity, since this is considered an external monitor by your Android phone, you can use Samsung DeX, which is basically turning your whole phone into a Windows-like format so that you can work more efficiently. So if you don't know what DeX is, look it up, but basically those glasses allow you to use your phone as if it was a computer. So if you have mouse and keyboard connected to your phone, you can just put on the glasses, that's your giant monitor, and you can get work done. All right, let's talk about the accessories. The first one is the Rokid Hub, and basically this allows you to not drain your battery while you have the glasses connected to your phone. When I tried it in public, plugged it directly into my phone, it was indeed draining my battery way faster than it would normally. So this is a lifesaver. So it's USB-C, plugs into your phone. On here, you're gonna plug a USB cord to like a power source, like a power bank or anything like that. And then on here, you plug the glasses and it works perfectly. No issues whatsoever. So you keep your charge and you get to use the glasses at the same time. And then there's the two accessories. And this is sold separately, but this is a lifesaver. And I feel like this should just be included in this box. Like this should be sold together. There's no reason why this should be separated because this is so basic to me. Most likely people are gonna buy this to use with their phones and tablets. So yeah, just put this in there, Rokid. I would love that. And then the two other accessories actually come together, or they should come together. It's the Rokid Station, which is a little bit more complex. and then the Rokid Android TV. So what this is, it's a remote control, and this gives you Android TV. I am still a little confused why they have to work together and why this doesn't come with Android TV pre-installed, but what this is basically a microcomputer that will run the Android TV app, and then it has the appropriate ports for you to run your glasses. So you have your normal TV remote buttons. Basically, this is a up, down, left, right. I really like the design. It's kind of slick. It's pretty cool, but not too like current modern where everything is like sharp edges or whatever. It feels futuristic in a way. Power buttons up top, battery indicator here, and the port here is a micro HDMI. It comes with its own cable. So it's gonna be micro HDMI and it goes to USB-C into the glasses. And the USB-C port is for power. Then you'll have volume buttons here, and that's what the back looks like. Really cool design, I really like it. So when you boot up this, it's gonna tell you, hey, grab the remote and press the 2 buttons in order for it to connect. And then it will run you to a tutorial on connect to your Wi-Fi, install Android TV, add your preferences, connect to your Google account and things like that. And you will have a bunch of, it will be a TV. Just like you have a smart TV, this is what it is. Now, for me personally, it was a great experience because turns out I do not own an Android TV. I do not own well, my TV is smart, but I just never connected it to the internet. So for me, it was my first time going through the installation of a smart TV and then navigating through it. It comes with a bunch of options when it comes to apps and their own app store. But weirdly enough, it doesn't have all of the options that you can find like on the Google App Store. It doesn't have Netflix, which is so weird because on the phone, it's advertising that Netflix is great with the glasses, and then the station that they make for the glasses doesn't come with Netflix. It comes with Amazon Prime Video and a bunch of other options, but no Netflix, which is not a huge problem because it's an Android TV. You can sideload some apps onto it. So I will definitely be installing Netflix eventually. It also has a bunch of browsers, so you can definitely access Netflix from there. So that's one part that I was confused about, well, not having Netflix, but also the fact that, yeah, I only use the remote to press on the 2 buttons to connect to this, and then I didn't need that anymore. I mean, the only button that this has that this doesn't is the microphone button where you can use Google Assistant. But anyways, this has a battery. This is basically your portable Android TV. I want to call it your portable computer because of all the things that I plan on installing on it. But since this is autonomous with a battery, you can plug in the glasses and now you can go wherever. As long as there's Wi-Fi that you can connect to, you'll have access to all your apps. It also supports Bluetooth, so you can connect a mouse and keyboard to it. And of course, a gaming controller. Why would you want to connect a gaming controller? Because you can use some cloud-based gaming apps on it. Now, it's not a service that I personally use, so I can't tell you how compatible it is and things like that. I will definitely be testing all of that in the future, but I know that Nvidia has something called GeForce Now. I believe Steam also has a game streaming service, and also Xbox has that. So I don't know if this would handle it. I wouldn't personally use this for that, but it's cool that it's even a possibility. So technically, let's say in a perfect world, because I haven't tested it yet, right? Let's say in a perfect world, it works, right? Cloud-based gaming works perfectly on this. That means that you can walk around with a giant screen on your face anywhere. You can put on the cover and have your own home cinema with this thing in your pocket and a Bluetooth controller, and you're just playing video games. I personally think that's awesome. Of course, this becomes a great productivity tool because you can install whatever app you need. When it comes to specs, this has a 64-bit 4-core ARM CPU. Not completely familiar with it. The battery is 5,000 milliamps, which is not bad. It claims to support about 5 hours of use, and if you don't touch it at all, it can last up to 7 days. Of course, the output port is HDMI, so it's micro HDMI, Wi-Fi 5, Bluetooth 5, and it supports 3D websites and 3D movies. So you can watch a 3D movie with the glasses with the full 3D effect. But the important part here is 32 gigs of storage space. That is really not bad for basically a TV station, but at the same time, I would love to be able to add an SD card somewhere in there. The specs for the glasses are Full HD 1080p per eye, brightness 600 nits, refresh rate is 120 Hz, and that only already makes it a way better monitor than a lot of monitors. It has 2 speakers, kind of difficult to really describe the experience with it. It sounds good. You don't have a ton of bass, but you do feel at least a little bit of bass. So it's not quite as good as, you know, earbuds, but it's not as bad as holding like a cheap speaker next to your ear or something. It's a good experience in my opinion. Now the FOV is 50 degrees, so it's not as wide as you might think once you put them on. So it's really like a big screen, but it is supposed to represent as if it was at 6 meters from you. So you can tell that it's big, you can tell that it's huge, but it is not completely covering your vision, right? Which I think should be better. I would love to have the option to even stretch the screen at this point, but I understand that they want to keep it as clear as possible, as clean as possible. It has noise canceling microphones, which is not something that I tried yet, but I'm guessing you can take calls with this. You can participate in like Zoom calls with the Rokid Station or even straight from your phone. It also claims to have AI voice controls. This is not something that I tested yet, probably part of the app, but I haven't seen it yet. Now, when it comes to the weight, this is going to be on your face, so this is important. It's 75 grams, so it does not feel heavy at all when you're wearing them, okay? When I first got them, it was a little tight around my ears, but now that I've been wearing them for a while now, it's most of the time I don't feel that they're there. They're not gonna fly off, well, at least not easily. But the top here where your forehead is going to be does get warm after a certain while. It doesn't get hot, okay? You can touch it and everything, but it gets slightly warm and you can notice it. Oh, one more thing, when I wear them personally, it feels like the screen is a little low. It feels like I have a lot of head space where there's nothing when I'm looking into the glasses, but the bottom, I almost have to really adjust them to be able to see the bottom of the screen sometimes. So it doesn't feel really centered. So yeah, this was the huge bundle of Rokid Max plus all the things that comes with it. When I first tried it on, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have a hard time figuring out use cases for it because it's not something that I even thought existed. So now I have to come up with, okay, why would I use it or what would I use it with? And being able to plug it to my phone and have a giant screen, amazing. Being able to plug it to the Rokid Station and have my own personal TV with all my apps and cloud-based gaming, it's kind of really cool. I don't own a Nintendo Switch or a Steam Deck, but if you want to play video games on the go and still have this huge giant private home cinema, now you can do this with those glasses. My personal use case is probably gonna be with my Samsung tablet, where I will be using DeX to make it into a desktop. And all I need is a mouse and keyboard, and then it becomes like a personal computer on the go. I will probably be using it with my laptop also because it has a bunch of USB-C ports, and all I have to do is plug it in and then boom, I have an external monitor. And you might be thinking, well, you already have a monitor on your laptop. The biggest revelation for me is the idea of when I'm on my laptop, I'm like this. When I'm on my tablet, I'm also like this. And the idea that I can just put this on and work. I can get work done. I can just chill and relax. I can be in bed and still be able to work and do whatever I want and be really, really comfortable because I have a screen strapped to my face. So this is why I say it's personal use case. I don't know about you, but this is a great step in the right direction of my back problems, basically. This will help me not be hunched over all the time. And of course, since I'm always traveling in public transportation, taking flights, on the train, it's gonna be great. It's really gonna be great. Now, one thing to talk about, which is the most important thing and I almost forgot, is the price tag. In my opinion, a little too high. Right now on their website, for the glasses alone, it's priced at $439. Right next to it, crossed, is $599, which is supposed to be like the original price. And I wouldn't say that it's a high price if it came bundled with all of that. If it came with the Rokid Station and the Android TV and the adapter and then the glasses and the appropriate cables, $439 would be a good price, like an amazing price. But it doesn't. $439 is just for the glasses, and I don't really see myself justifying it. Now, I understand why it's priced like that. It's because of all the features that it has. I wouldn't mind if you took off the microphone or one of the microphones. And you know what? I wouldn't even mind if you took away the speakers. I would not mind if you took away the IMU, so the 3D tracking thing. I wouldn't even mind if you lowered the refresh rate to like 90 Hertz. Maybe in the future, we will see a version that might be a little simpler, because the Rokid Max, without all of the features that I just listed, is still an amazing product. It would still be an amazing product. And of course, this is subjective, but if you get rid of all of that and it allows you to include the Rokid Station preloaded with Android TV, please, and the Rokid Hub, and somehow that would allow you to keep the price at $439, then that would be awesome. Other than that, I do think this is an amazing product. I feel like maybe the setup might be a little too complex, or even the accessories themselves could be simplified and be all in one package. But this is for sure something that I'm gonna be using. I'm gonna be using it every time I travel. This has to be in my travel bag for sure. So even though I'm a little on the price, I still recommend those, honestly. If you can afford them, and especially if you have things like a Nintendo Switch, a Steam Deck, a tablet, a laptop with USB-C ports, and all of that. Anyways, this is it. I would like to keep you up to date with all the cool things that I plan on doing with this, and I will probably be doing that on my tech channel. I have a dedicated tech channel. I would love for you to go ahead and subscribe to it, because if you have any questions, if there's anything that you would like for me to test so I can give you an answer, it's probably gonna be over there. So go over there and subscribe. Also, if you own a similar product, or if you have Android TV and you've done some cool stuff with it, hit me up. Hit me up. I want to know what I can do with this. Of course, I would like to shout out Rokid for sending me this bundle, and also I want to shout out Impact Reality XR for making it happen. And I gotta thank you for watching this video. I'll see you all next time. Go out there, make me proud, get level, out.